here in the NFL, we're still trying to figure out who the best is, but we've been able to get most of the season in, thank goodness, with nobody canceled. But now it's. I mean, how do I make heads or tails of this college football season right now, Desmond?
Oh, brother, listen, my man, it's a challenge. It really is because there's a bunch of moving parts, a bunch of games being either postponed or canceled. So this is a work in progress. No one knows exactly how you're going to determine who the best teams are now, based on the eye test.
Yes,
which is. I think is very useful at this point. I mean, it's relevant at this point. You would look at Alabama; they've been pretty dominant. You look at the Buckeyes. Those games that they've played so far, they've been pretty dominant. You have a Clemson. I mean, Clemson is still a dominant team. Okay, they lost to Notre Dame. That just makes a lot of us look at Notre Dame a little differently. And obviously, they beat Clemson without Trevor Lawrence, but yet and still, I mean, they scored a lot of points on that Brent Venables defense. I mean, people are not giving that the amount of credit that Notre Dame deserves. And to be honest with you, Rich, Notre Dame should have scored more points on Clemson's defense, but they got in the red zone several times, settled for field goals, and then one time, Ian Book, the quarterback, I mean, he's about to go into the end zone. He just fumbles the ball. Well, I don't say he just fumbled it. He was like Brent Venables' son, who plays linebacker. His son did, attempt to tackle Ian Book. And on his attempt to tackling Ian Book, he got the ball out. But still, I mean, I think this is inside maybe the 10-yard line. So there are many more opportunities for Notre Dame to score touchdowns that they didn't take advantage of. So I understand that Trevor Lawrence, he's supposed to be the number one pick in the draft and all that good stuff, and he didn't play. But they really did a number on Clemson's defense. And I don't think they get enough credit for the job that they did, Rich.
They sure did. I agree with you. You got to play who's in front of you, and Clemson came in obviously without Trevor Lawrence, but everyone else was pretty much loaded for bear there. And I'm assuming we'll see them again in the ACC championship game, and then we'll just determine whether we want to run it back one more time in a college football playoff. Because I'm looking around and I'm trying to see who might raise their hand and say, even in this COVID-19 season, they deserve a shot. I don't know who else is out there, Des. How do you handicap that right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I would say now, up to this point in the season, some of the best teams, or some of the teams that I've seen is playing the best football. Okay, we already mentioned Clemson. We already mentioned Alabama. We already mentioned the Buckeyes and Notre Dame, okay? But then you kind of go off the grid. Very, very impressed by the BYU Cougars. They got this quarterback, Zach Wilson, who's having a fantastic season. They're very physical, and they've been impressive from day one, and they've been extremely consistent. So the BYU is a team that I like, too. And then Cincinnati Bearcats. When you want to look at a group of 5 team, they got this quarterback, Desmond Ritter. He's playing at a high level every week, but they have a defense. Man, their defense is for real. Like they shut down SMU, which was a high-scoring defense. They shut down Memphis, another high-scoring defense. And so those are 2 outliers when you look at BYU and you look at the Cincinnati Bearcats that people are starting to really pay attention to. And to be honest with you, Rich, before the season started, we do this, we always predict who's going to be in the college football playoff. And one of my 4 teams was the Cincinnati Bearcats. The only reason I took them out, because they were originally in, because at this point, the Big Ten had decided they were not going to play. So we're not talking about, any team in the Big Ten. So we eliminated the Big Ten. So I said, okay, well, I'm putting Cincinnati in there. So then when they did a 180, they being the Big Ten, and decided that they were going to have a season, I said, okay, well, I have to remove Cincinnati and put in Ohio State.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.